What's up? Welcome back to Haptic Feedback. We got another special guest in the building, Rokkai. How you doing today, bro?
I'm okay. I'm A-okay. Sadate. You know what I mean?
Fact. Yeah, man. So this was probably a long time in the making. I've been wanting to sit down with you, but you know,
everything happens in its own time.
Exactly, it happens in its own time. But I remember I met you, or at least became aware of you first through Jelani and his mixtape. The year he was dropping Follow the Panoramic.
Follow the motherfucking Panoramic.
Yeah, and then I actually met you in person shortly after at O's show, The Chaotic Living Room.
Facts.
So it all happened like really within like the same couple of weeks or whatever. And so I just been like, you know, tracking your journey ever since. Trying to keep up with all the many exploits you tend to dive into, you know.
Oh yeah, bro. It's
Man of many hats.
Facts. My hair way too long for the cap.
I'm dead. No, I tell. It's like a running joke that's like, it's not funny, but it is. But like, whenever people come on here, somehow like you often get brought up just because you work with a lot of people on the scene and you're around a lot.
Yeah.
And so every time people are like, yeah, and Rokkai, blah blah blah, and I be like, best hair in the scene.
Ooh, wait, I got that title. Ooh, no, don't let my nigga Smiles hear that.
Oh,
don't let my nigga Smiles hear that. I say this: the Atlanta scene got a lot of good hair. It's a lot of good hair in the Atlanta scene. Bro.
That's a sentence I've never heard before.
Bro,
it's
think
crazy.
About it, bro.
No, but you making sense. But yeah, I think the most recent thing I've heard you on, at least musically, is with the Mob with Ace.
Facts.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so that was nice. It had a really nice visual to it. I really like that tennis court backdrop.
Yeah, that wasn't even a tennis court. It was like wall ball.
Wall ball?
Yeah,
what
bro.
the hell is wall ball?
No, you talking about me. Or like, not wall ball. I think, I don't know. Speed ball. It's like it's not like tennis.
It's the one where you hit it against the wall and both of you and another person stand by each other. Okay, I don't know what that's called, but I know what you're talking about.
I played it once, but that's where we were at.
Oh, bet. Okay, so how did that feature come along? Ace talked about it a little bit, but I'd like to hear your perspective.
I saw his interview here. He brought my name up, and I sent him a pack of beats, and he was like, "Yo, can you hop on this?" And I was like, "Yes." And so that's how that. Hey,
happened. That's fine. I'm glad I could help bridge that for y'all.
You threw the oop.
That's literally why I do it, you know.
Yeah. Now the clutch. Shout out Devontae. Yeah.
Hey, we in there. Yeah, that's fine. So, how do you like being in music videos? I've gotten like mixed reviews. Some people are like, it's just part of it. I do it because it's work. And then there's some people who are like, no, this is like my favorite part. It's like being in visuals and like planning visuals. So what is it like for you to, on both ends, not just in this case participating in Ace's video, but you know, planning your own and stuff like that?
It's tedious. Like yesterday, literally, I was shooting a music video and it rained. We were outside. We got to reschedule. But I don't know. I sometimes feel awkward in front of the camera, but like I just eat it. I'm like, all right, fuck it. We gonna do it. I think music videos are fun. I don't mind being in music videos. I tend to animate them a lot because I can control every element.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Like literally yesterday, it fucking rained, and it wasn't even rain on the forecast. So, yeah, that shit was ass. But I like directing music videos. Like it's really, if you have like a proper team behind you, it's really fun.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I like music videos a lot. Being in music videos is cool, but sometimes, just like anything, it can get kind of tedious and annoying.
For sure. Do you have like a music video, even from now or like when you were younger, that really like jumps out?
Breaking the Habit by Linkin Park. So I was way too young to be listening to that song because it was like about you know, mental health and whatnot.
Right.
And I didn't understand anything about that back then.
But it was hype.
It was bro, what?
On the Dragon Ball Z edits on YouTube.
Bro, what? Yeah, like in that specific music video was animated. It was anime.
Right.
And that shit was like it was and that song was so good. So that's probably the first one that sticks out because I used to watch it all the time. Yeah.
That's fine. How old are you, man?
I'm 23.
23? Okay. I be trying to gauge like when people saw stuff versus me.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, how old are you?
I'm 26. I'll be 27 in September.
Okay, fine. We some 20s.
Yeah, man. These 20s, man. They be 20 and...
Yeah, they are. They're doing it right now.
But I'm excited to be 30. Not saying I want to like fast forward through my life or anything. Like I'm enjoying my 20s, but being 30 and hopefully I get like gray hair. I've always like thought gray hair was just cool.
Me too.
Like it just mean like, I don't know, some type of like
Wisdom
or like regalness to it. I just like gray hair a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I think gray hair is kind of cool, silverish. You know.
Yeah, you feel me? So I saw online. I didn't get to come, but the Fun Day event, it looked like a a field day for adults, if you will. Is that more or less?
That's literally what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Field day for young adults.
So how did that come together?
Frio, pretty much all him. This one had the concept and everything. I don't have much more to say about it other than that. Yeah.
What was it like participating in it? Did you have like a favorite game?
Kickball.
Man, I played in the flag football league, and I really wanted to play kickball instead, but it didn't happen that way.
Damn. Okay.
But how did the teams end up shaking up? Like, how many of y'all ended up on the same teams, and are y'all generally pretty competitive with one another?
Super competitive. The teams were unbalanced. No offense to the women, but we had like 5 women under 5'3", and so with a game like fun ball where you got to jump for the ball, you got a team full of grown men, and then you got like a team full of not all grown men. It's kind of unbalanced, but it was fun. It was fun.
That's fine. Did anybody do like anything spectacular? Like, who's the best athlete out of y'all?
I would say me, but it might be Ma Sadiq.
Really?
Yeah, he's pretty fast. I can't even lie.
He looks deceptively fast.
He might be the fastest rapper in the underground.
The fastest?
I thought I was.
People didn't like when people was throwing that allegation around in season 1. Cam was upset. He felt like he had a leg in it. Jelani felt like he had a leg in
both
it.
of them niggas. I already know.
Damn. That sounds like a challenge. I'm just saying.
One day, but I thought I was the fastest, and it was because I used to run track. You know what I mean? So like I used to do that shit for real.
This man's a trained athlete. He's not out here messing around with y'all.
I was, but yeah, the Fun Day was all Frio's thing. He had the EP to follow it up.
Yeah.
Had the shirts. Like, he planned that, like, beautifully, bro. I came late because of traffic, but it was like 5 or 6 games. It was soccer, freeze tag.
Oh, freeze tag?
Yeah.
Yo, that's different. That's fine.
Yeah, we had the relay races, kickball, fun ball. Yeah.
That's fine. Did, what was I finna say? I met Frio at the Shrugs event.
Mm-hmm.
He was great.
Yes.
One of my favorite people that I interviewed that day. Super nice.
Yes, he's fantastic. I love my nigga Frio.
Did a really fun set as well.
Yes, he's in my opinion, like the best performer out of No Band. Like, he's the one that do that shit, bro. Like, he's so crazy with it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you follow sports still at all?
Hardly.
I
fell off after the Falcons. I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, they had a good draft, so hopefully you can look forward to.
I hope so.
Getting reintegrated.
Reintegrated. Reingratiated.
That's
crazy.
A word, right?
I'm not even gonna look it
up.
I don't think it is. But
damn. If it's not, I'm cutting this. So I'm just playing. I'll take the L. Yeah. Get reintegrated in your Falcon fandom. Hopefully, with these new guys coming in, we'll figure out that quarterback situation eventually, then we can really.
Will we ever figure it out? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Unless Vic come out of retirement or have a child.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So you guys opened up a studio.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of move that I just don't feel like a lot of people even consider, like, doing things on our scale.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, how did you guys, one, decide, like, this is something we want to all, like, invest time and energy in? And then how did it come together?
So Alex, Kincaid, the boss man, he was like, I think we should get a studio. And everybody was like, yeah. And it's easy to do that when you have a team. I know the details of it, but, like, he handled a lot of that. So everybody that could pitch in, pitched in, and we got it at Mutiny Artworks. We were running around town looking for just studios in general. And, yeah, we got in there, and we was like, all right, bet. So our studio originally was, like, for podcasting and photography.
Right.
But we're also upgrading it now for, like, just recording and whatnot, music, trying to soundproof it and all that. But a lot of it was Alex. and then because I don't know, that time when we were getting it was kind of blurry because I wasn't really focused on that. Like I was helping out, obviously.
Right.
Like I helped moved in. I've paid part of the rent a few times. Well, not a few times. We just got it, but like
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? A couple times.
Yeah, you did your part.
Yeah. So like, but I was more so like, hey, if the team's with it, I'm with it. It looked like a good idea. I trust my boss, man. He don't lead us astray. He has never led us astray, and he didn't that time. And so, yeah, because like I said, I was working on like a whole bunch of other shit and whatever. But yeah, a lot of that was him being like, we should get a studio.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Did he do like? Was the design concept his as well?
A combination of him and like a couple other people. I think I want to say Frio's girlfriend helped out because she goes to SCAD for interior design, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, she helped out with that. But I think the idea like came from Alex. Like he wanted more of a warm 90s retro 2000s feel, and so like we have a bunch of 2000s type shit in there. We have a PS2 in there.
Yeah, I gotta play that PS2. I have one out there. I'll show it to you later. But I don't have two controllers. That's what be.
You can order one.
But it's only like right now that I feel like I need it. And then when I'm here by myself, the rest of the year, I'm like,
nah, I get that.
Fuck, I'm gonna pay this for. You know what I'm saying? So.
Nah, I hear that.
But yeah, what is it? Or just for the sake of people who don't know, you said for sure you guys originally opened it as a space for podcasting and like photography. So how would someone go about like getting access to it?
So we actually set something up on the website to book it, and we're set up through PeerSpace. So you could go through those two ways. There's way more detail into it, and when Alex sees this, he's probably gonna be like, "I fucking told you how to do this shit." Like I'm already knowing because like sometimes like I do be paying attention, but it's one of those things where I know how to get there
more than you can explain it.
Yeah, so like
sure.
You can book through the NoBand.world website or PeerSpace for sure.
For sure. All right, that's dope.
And or ask one of us. But yeah, no, go ahead.
No, that's cool. For sure. Definitely. Y'all are all pretty friendly, so they should reach out to y'all anyway.
Yes.
You want to tell the good people which artists we're here to talk about their discography today?
Isaiah Rashad.
Isaiah Rashad.
My favorite rapper ever.
Really?
Yeah. I say he's the one that stuck with me when I became cognitive of music for real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chattanooga zone.
Yeah.
So okay, well, I guess we'll start there. How did you come to discover him?
Honestly, I was like a sophomore in high school, and prior to then, I only listened to Outkast, MF Doom, and Linkin Park. Anything that wasn't that was like. But one of my friends put me onto him. One of my friends at the time put me onto him, and this was when I had like first discovered J. Cole too. So I was very interested in like new rap that wasn't necessarily mainstream.
Right.
Zaywop was the one. I heard Ronnie Drake. It's been over since then. The one with SZA.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, bro.
What a guy.
Sylvia Demo was on repeat. I played it so much I got sick of it, and that was the first artist I ever did that with.
Oh dang, that's a big moment then.
No skips. No fucking skips.
No, definitely there's no skips on that. That's a really good project.
Love it.
Usually I'll break it up into two segments, but it's like 3 tapes. There's not really much to it than to do it. So you want to start by sharing your list?
Yeah, Sun's Tirade, Sylvia Demo, and then The House is Burning.
You're the first person. Well, I mean, I've done like larger ones, which I guess adds more variation, but we have the same list, so that's a first. And
Okay. Yeah.
I'm interested in knowing, like, of course, like why each one is slated where. But I guess I will say, I really like the Sun's Tirade's like album cover a lot. Like,
yeah. Oh my God, it's so fire.
It's amazing. I want to look at it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
And just in case I need to quote any songs, I like to bring it up so I can look at it. But yeah, like what?
It's so good.
It's cool.
It is so good. Oh my God.
So this is the first project I heard of his. So my fandom started with the Sun's Tirade.
Which song?
I think I started it top to bottom. It was just more of my fandom for TDE and him, being adjacent. It just kind of made me be like, okay, I want to know who's on the entire roster once I was like, I don't want to say done, but like once I had peaked with my Absol fandom, because that was the one who brought me in, and then Kendrick was after that, and then Q, and then Isaiah Rashad and SZA.
Yeah.
And so, at the time I was just, getting really interested in that whole group and how they were making music and stuff. And so I found this album, the Kendrick feature was on there. And so I was like, okay, let's start with this. And so played that first. The album was cool. The artwork was cool. And it's a really good project. So it's one of my favorites still. And I think it's like that sweet spot for artists where it's like, it's not quite the hunger of the first big project.
I was saying the same shit. Oh my God. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's it. Where it's like, it's a little more refined than the hunger of the first project, but it's also not like the comfort of like being a mainstay for a while. And so it's just, usually that album is my favorite in people's catalogs.
I feel that.
And so I feel like that's how I landed on that as number one.
He experimented more. I think Sylvia Demo has no skips, but The Sun's Tirade has better songs. He was like in his real drug era, which wasn't good for him, but it was such good music, bro.
Yeah, and that, unfortunately, that's often how it is. I'm going to hold this now. Unfortunately, that's often how it is, where it's like a lot of self-destructive behavior like makes good art just in general, not just music, but like through many mediums. And so fortunately for us, but unfortunately for the human, we got a great project out of a low point. And hopefully that, I don't know what it does because I've never been in a predicament like that, but hopefully looking back on it will like kind of just, close that door on that chapter of someone's life and provide closure of some sort maybe.
I hope so. But that was the only album, not the only album, but like that album felt like him.
Right.
It felt like that was his music. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, Sun's Tirade came out a day after my birthday. And honestly, I hate to say it, but I torrented it at the time because I didn't have Spotify or nothing like that. We did that. You know what I mean?
We did that,
Yeah. My issue with that was like when you do that, sometimes you get fucked up versions of the album. There were like 2 songs on the album that weren't there that I didn't know weren't there until I got Spotify and actually listened to it years later.
Years?
I'm hurt.
That's intense.
And I actually liked the songs. Or at least the song. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like,
do you remember what song it was?
Don't matter. It was like,
oh, that's tough.
Yeah, it was one of the real deep cuts.
Yeah.
I was like, bro,
that's a very unfortunate song to miss.
Nah, actually, I was very like, it should be on there. Yeah, bro. I can't believe and Find a Topic, Homies Babe. Yeah. That was not the outro. It was by George. Find a Topic was earlier in the album.
Oh.
See what I mean? They just giving me fuck. And I listened to that. You could tell I listened to it that much that I remember what the.
Right.
God damn, bro.
Do you have a favorite song? And you may look at it.
Silk the Shaka or Park.
I like Park a lot. Okay. I think I like Stuck in the Mud.
Stuck in the Mud was really, but that shit's long as hell.
It is, but I like the beat flip in there as well. Yeah. I like that part of the song better than the front half, honestly.
You know what? I'm not mad at that, but I think I like the first part better. The second part felt like you had to be high to get it, and I didn't get it until I got older, obviously. But like, like that shit. Yeah, see now I gotta go back. Now I gotta listen to that song when I leave.
Right. Now I've been listening to it like all day. Usually in advance of these, I'll just play through as much of you know that I can. Yeah. Cool. Well then, why does The House Is Burning end up in the last spot? And that I know that doesn't imply it's a bad project. It's just you're comparing it to itself, or him to himself. So something has to be last. So what about this one? Leaves it a little short of the other 2 projects.
It wasn't as ambitious, but he said that. Like, he said he didn't even pick the songs for real. I don't think he said it.
Yeah, I was reading up on it, and he was talking a lot about how he didn't, like, make songs or make these songs with an album in mind. It was just kind of the result of him just working because, people make music and it comes together. I know the Smino song Claymore was for Smino. He wrote it for Smino. gave it to him, and Smino didn't need it for his project, so it was like, well, it's cool, I'm gonna take it, you know. But I think operating in that space does end up making good singles, but I think the intentionality of making an album and knowing you're making an album makes better like songs that go together. More and cohesion. I think correct. And I think that's why I have it last, because there's a lot of songs on here that as individual songs are fucking nuts. Like I really like Headshot. Does it sound like an Outkast song?
Headshots is so good.
Yeah, it sounds like an Outkast song, and it's just cool to see somebody like that. And I guess I didn't really think about how close Chattanooga really is to
Georgia.
Correct.
I didn't know that either.
So it's like, I went in for my job. I went and drove up there to like help another store at the retail place I work at. Yeah. And I was like, this is not far at all. And
not at all.
You know, seeing the people walk through and like hearing how they talk and stuff, it was very like culturally similar. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, it makes sense that he would like share that Southern influence, just generally speaking. So it's a really cool tape, man.
It was it's like it's the most digestible one too. I'll say that. Like I'll say because the music's great, but it felt like he looked up Isaiah Rashad type beats and then rapped on them. You know, like I basically heard these songs or I heard these sounds before, but it was still a good project regardless. Like I love that shit.
Right.
I fucking love that project, but it's not my favorite.
Do you at all, are you one of those people, because I've heard other artists say that they do this, do you make songs for people like this? Like, would you go home and be like, I'm feeling some Isaiah Rashad today, and like find a type beat, make a song to it, or make a beat to it?
It depends. I do that, but it ends up being like my type beat anyway.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's the idea, but I guess I meant if Isaiah Rashad was like, I need a song from Rokkai, would you like have to go make one, or do you be like, I feel like this one will work for him?
A little bit of both. I when I send packs out, I'll have shit ready, or I'll make some fresh shit. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. You're seasoned. You are always ready for this.
You know this, man.
Yeah, and then I guess the only other one, Sylvia demo. What do you take away from that? What's your I guess synopsis of it?
I gotta look at the song list.
Oh, here, I got you.
Okay, yeah,
Boom.
I don't even. West Savannah had me in a chokehold. West Savannah, Tranquility, Menthol, Brad Jordan, Shot You Down. Goddamn, Banana, and Heavily Fire. See, these songs weren't in this order. They weren't.
That's crazy.
See, I didn't know the two Scissor songs went together. R.I.P. Kevin Miller. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, R.I.P. Kevin Miller is so nuts. And that's the, like, hunger I was talking about. Like, it's hard to recreate being in that situation, that space, that, you know, that environment that life puts you in where it's just like, this has to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can hear this has to work in that song to me. And I think that's why I really, really like that one.
He was doing, bro. He was rapping. This is the project he was really rapping on, and you could tell he was hungry, and that's why it's like the second spot, cause like it's not as mature as Sun's Tirade, but It's like he was fucking going, and he was not playing around. Like the beat to Soliloquy is insane. Like who thinks of, I don't know. He was experimenting a lot with rap, and it spoke to me back then. I don't know. It shouldn't have, but it really was like, oh my goodness, bro. Sylvia demo was insane. I don't even think that's his first project, but I didn't hear his first project, so I can't speak on it.
Me either. So I just be picking the ones that's on DSPs and make it easier on the listeners as well.
Yeah.
Because it'd be hard to get deeper than that these days. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I guess that's that. And then back to you, my good man. Mm-hmm. So like I said before, you're a man of many hats, you know. You tend to do a lot of stuff.
I do tend to do a lot of stuff. Right.
And so I think the one that was like most surprising to me, not necessarily like for you, but just in general in my interactions with like other artists, is that you animate. And like that's incredibly difficult to do. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying?
I owe a couple commissions, and I've been putting them off because it's so difficult. Like, or not difficult, it's tedious.
Right.
Good God. I don't have the proper animation software, so it takes me a little bit longer, and I'm like self-taught. But
okay, that's why I was gonna ask, like, how you fell into it.
I started when I was like 11.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to do like pivot, the stick figure shit. Yeah, that was me. That was me, bro. And then I just upgraded to drawing by the time I was an adult, and it just kind of became a part of me after that, you know. And now it's something that people kind of associate with me, because like helium was like, well, I took that off, but like helium was stick figure. I added eyes to it, and I was like, this is cool, but I want to actually draw it out, actually be able to draw my backgrounds out. And like the OK music video was the first one like I did 2D like drawing, hand drawn animation, you know. So after that, it just kind of became a part of my artist identity, and now I've upgraded softwares, but this new softwares I'm using, OpenTunes, is acting like a hoe for some reason, and it's really getting in the way of what I want to do next. But yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, like anything, I'm sure you'll adapt and, you know, find a comfort in it.
Yeah, I have no choice.
Right. Honestly, yeah, you already paid for it.
Facts.
Dang, that's crazy. Do you get like a lot of requests? Like, I mean, I guess comparable to like your request to work with you, the musician.
Not as much, but I do get it. I don't follow through with a lot because people realize how expensive animation is.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They're just like, yo, how much would this be? And I tell them, and then they leave me on red. But honestly, I give a cheap price because I don't have industry standard shit. I'm not industry standard skilled yet, but they think it's that cheap, and it's like, you don't even understand what goes into all of this if I'm doing all of it myself. So
right. Yeah, it's a studio team of people's job, bro, that you're tanking solo. So I'm definitely impressed. And I think my first, like, I knew that you did it, but my first time seeing it was for the with the homies stuff. Like, that rollout was when I got to like see your animation, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And it was like in that like South Park-ish range where it's like the character quality is part of what makes it like good and like notable. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, you guys got to all voice act and stuff together. So what is it like, you know, because usually a lot of people have their friends and they make music together, and that's one thing, but like what's it like working on something like this with your friends?
It was pretty seamless because everybody wanted to do it, but it was like kind of hard to put together too at the same time. The reason why they don't have mouths is because drawing the mouths would have took too long. But I would record what I wanted, and then they would copy it, and basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
is there like a? So you did that in terms of like scripting it for them, or do you mean like as far as you wanted like certain deliveries or both?
Yeah, both. I would like have it written down. I would be like, this is the delivery. Honestly, with that, because they were playing themselves, I was like, what would you say here?
Right.
And then they would like say that, and then, or say it how they would say it. And that's kind of how we got that. Like I did the timing and the pacing of the script, obviously.
Right.
But some of that was them, you know, some of that was just them being like themselves. So, yeah. And that was like a spurt. Like I didn't even plan to do that for real, but I was just like, this is a good idea. Let me see if I can do this. And I got it. I fucking did it. It took a minute, but I did it.
No, for sure. And hey, man, that's a crazy thing to be self-taught on, because I just knew you were going to come on here and say you like did it collegiately or something.
Not at all.
That's nuts.
I wish.
Well, I mean, go back to school. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to tell you to do that. I would never recommend school to anyone. If you do it, cool. More power to you. But
more power to
I'm not suggesting it.
Yeah. Our school is a different bitch. I mean, sorry.
No, you can curse. It's all good, bro.
Our school is fucking expensive. I have homies that are like, they better hope Biden come through with this loan forgiveness shit, because if not, it's looking real bad. It's looking real bad. Shout out my SCAD niggas, but I'm praying for you.
Yo, hey, I'm gonna send one up for him too, because I thought my loans was bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So, all right, so that's Rokkai the animator, Rokkai the producer, right? I don't remember where I heard it from, so if you remember where you said this, then please like shout whatever that was out. But I remember somewhere in some space you were talking about how you made a lot of your connection with people you work with musically like through spaces online.
It's probably either Sync the Vibes or the Mixtable.
It was the Mixtable. Shout out to Tyrone and Joseph. Those are the bros. I love that show. Yes.
Yeah. That's
So,
how it was.
what was it like kind of, building that community online compared to like meeting people in person? It has its own like pros and cons. And so what was that like for you?
The people online I met just were insane. Like, they were so good. I was scared. I had imposter syndrome. So like I was just bouncing off ideas off them for basically all 2020 and 2021. And that was how we kind of built that community through No Band, through Bedrock Radio, through all that. And yeah, the rest is really just history. That's kind of like black and white. That's kind of how it was. Like, after the Monty Booker cosign, it was up from there. So yeah, it was. I was working with people online before I was working with people in the city, and it was just easier. It was a lot easier.
Like, what do you mean by easier?
People are nicer. I don't know,
bro. Oh, okay,
like,
okay. I see.
It's a little bit difficult sometimes in the city, and I understand Atlanta's kind of shiesty. I get it, but the people like online, like my South African niggas, shout out my South African niggas, man. They was like trying to work so much, and I didn't really feel that enthusiasm until like recently. I'm not gonna lie, but it was open arms from jump, and I think that's what it was. Not to say like they're nicer, but
right.
They're more
You had a nicer experience, if nothing else, and that's valuable in itself. And I think a lot of people, especially in our age, or we're like on the edge of that age, I guess, where our experiences online are like very polarizing because we didn't grow up with it to a degree. And so I feel like the older generation can kind of function fully without it, and the younger generation cannot. And then we're like trying to like figure out what's our sweet spot. And so I do feel like there are a lot of good examples of building community online, and I wish people took more time to like lean into that versus like all the negative things that come with being in online spaces.
It's really, I got lucky and found a great community. Like, I don't know if there's any other community like this one. So, or like the SoundCloud community that I got to be a part of. So I got lucky, I'll say that, finding them, because if it weren't for them, my sound wouldn't have developed how it did, and I wouldn't even be here right now, because a lot of those people are on the Homies tape. So shout out y'all.
All right. No, that's beautiful. And then what you been working on, man? It's been like a relatively quiet year so far from you as an individual, as far as like putting out work and stuff like that. So what you been up to, man? What's keeping you busy these days?
When is this dropping?
After Mother's Day for sure. Probably the first week of June.
Well, then by then my next single should be out, and it'll be the first single from my album. I've been working on the album, so yeah, that's really what that is. I had to take time to make something that sounded like me. I think people have the wrong idea of what I'm trying to do musically, and I just got to set the record straight. So I've been in the hyperbolic time chamber.
Okay, my boy coming out, hair longer.
Type shit. Yeah.
Hair longer, power level over 9,000. He's not fucking
Rokkai.
around.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been working on an album, working on the best shit I've ever made, and I just had to take time to like be with myself with it. So that's what I've been doing. I've been working on some cool shit. First single, June 3rd.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh, what day of the week is that?
For Saturday.
Then we'll time it out. This will be out Friday, June 2nd. Then we'll put it in there right then. So
let's go.
Tomorrow after you watch this, tune into the single, or at midnight, or however, you know what I'm saying. Go listen to the stuff. Damn, that's fine. Did you have anything that like, struck a? Okay. I like when artists have their eureka moments and they tell me about them. Mm-hmm. Did you have one of those for whether it just be the idea of this album or for like, a direction? Maybe you got over a writer's block situation. Did you have any like nice lightning strike moments?
I guess just realizing I wanted to do this for me. Like, my granny be sewing clothes and she don't even make money off of it for real, but like she still does it because she loves to do it, and she's been doing it for like 60 years. God damn. Yeah. And I just saw that and I was like, yo, that's what I need to be doing. And that was my eureka moment.
Dang, that's fine. Shout out to grandma. Bestowing wisdom. Damn, that's nice.
Yeah.
Anything, or are you looking forward to, performing it or anything like that soon in the near future?
I am, but I'm not holding my breath. I know it's like, it's hard to get placements with that shit, but I think I will be. but I'm trying to get the music out first.
Okay, no, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, but it's on the way. I'm sure it's gonna be on the way.
For sure, definitely. And I've had a good time seeing you perform. I've seen you perform a handful of times now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I saw you at the chaotic living room. It was so cold.
It was cold and chaotic.
It was cold, but it was cool. It was cold though. It was very cold. And then I saw you perform with the homies live. Yeah. Oh fuck, that's a big no. Let's double back. That was fucking crazy, and I love that event space as well. I saw Kaylin Breed there live for like the first time or maybe the second time, and then I went to Kapani's listening party. That's a really nice space, and you guys turned it into something cool, and y'all did like, you know, y'all had a lot of good acts. Yeah. Like outside of just you guys, the crew, but even having like Evolve come in and like do their thing as well. And I hadn't seen like anything like that at a show.
Yeah, nah, we just tried to be real creative with it. We was like, we're gonna make this the event, and I think we did that because we sold out online, I think.
Yeah, no, it was a great time. It was definitely packed up in there.
Yeah, shout out that event. That was a hectic time, but yeah, it was kind of not a spur of the moment, but I wasn't even planning to do that with the project, but niggas was like, yo, let's do it. And yeah, shout out Jelani. He's the one that told me to do it.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, you should do a show with the homies. And I was like, we'll see. Obviously, we did. But
right.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. Shout out him.
Shout out Jelani, yeah.
That's another wise guy.
Don't worry.
Out now, streaming everywhere. What do you like most about performing?
I don't know. It's kind of nerve-wracking. Like, it's cool to see people's, like, reactions, but sometimes that shit is not, like, as fun as people think it is. Like, at least to me. Like, it's kind of, it be making me super anxious. But I think that's just because I wasn't performing things I like. So I would have to wait on that answer. I would have to wait. If this year I start performing more, I have a better answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it will. And I think, you know, just as you work the muscle more like anything else, you'll find like different things to appreciate about it, hopefully.
I think so.
For sure.
I hope so.
Yeah, man. Well, that's all I got.
All
I
right.
appreciate you coming through. So it was a long time coming, like I said before.
Yes, sir.
Really
Thank
cool.
You for having me. This was great.
Well, I guess it's gonna be out. You want to say the single's name?
Fuss.
Stream Fuss, please.
Stream Fuss.
Right now, or tonight, or tomorrow.
Yeah, you're not gonna hate you. You're not gonna regret it. That's what I was. Yeah, you're not gonna regret it.
You're not gonna regret it.
It's gonna be the first step into the real shit I'm trying to putting out the shit I actually think is me. So yeah, do that.
Definitely. Well, I'll definitely be tuned in with y'all. And with that, that's all we got. You got anything else you want to say to the people?
Do it because you want to do it. The end.
The end. See y'all next time. Be safe.